Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, the far-left rogue New York DA Alvin Bragg finally got his grand jury to convict a ham sandwich called Donald Trump. For a while there, it looked like Bragg was dead in the water. And he lied to the public about the grand jury not meeting this past week, because they did, and hence the indictment. But it all had a certain Soviet-style feel to it and the dark of night type stuff. Of course, it was totally politically motivated, and yes, indicting a former president is unprecedented, and yes, it is outrageous, and yes, it sends the wrong signal to the rest of the world, making the U.S. look like a Latin American-style banana republic. Yes, it seems like incredibly small beer in the grand scheme of things. Stormy Daniels, over 15 years ago, the former Playboy model McDougal was around the same time. Why are we still talking about this nonsense? Because Democratic leftists can't help themselves. It's part of the Trump derangement syndrome. They suffer from it. It's an incurable disease. There are no meds or remedies that will get them through it. But what's done is done. There'll be a trial. Mr. Trump's going to have to suffer through that. We're going to talk to former Attorney General William Barr in a few moments about all this. And following that, we're going to visit with Fox's chief legal correspondent and Fox News Sunday host, Shannon Bream, and also talk about her lovely new book, The Love Stories of the Bible. So at this point, let me announce grandly that former President Trump is still standing, just as he has stood for all the nonsense the crazy leftist Democrats have thrown at him down through the years. Just think about it. 2 impeachments, of course, no convictions, the Steele dossier, the entire Russian hoax nonsense, the Mueller investigation, special counsels on classified documents, investigated tax returns, various Democratic House investigations from nothing burgers like Nadler and Schiff and others, the so-called J6 committee, Georgia elections, and former President Trump is still standing. The lefty Dems hate him because of his many accomplishments and because he has never and will never accept the D.C. swamp or the so-called political elite power structure. Mr. Trump is a fighter. Mr. Trump will clean house in Washington if he were to get reelected to a second term. The Democrat lefties know this and are petrified of it. So they continue to do everything they humanly can to prevent him from becoming president. Whatever it takes, legal or illegal, they're on it. Now, look, I'm no lawyer. I have no idea about the details. Looks to me like a phony, ginned-up Alvin Bragg grand jury nonsense, but I know the ultimate motivation from the lefty Dems is to get Trump and stop Trump. Now, having said my piece this evening about all that, let me close with this thought. In his first term, Mr. Trump had a long list of policy achievements that made America stronger and more prosperous and wealthier country. His tax cuts and deregulation boosted minority groups, blue-collar workers in the lower middle class. They gave everybody a tremendous booster shot for their sagging real incomes. He delivered energy independence so America wouldn't have to listen to the guff of Vladimir Putin or Hugo Chavez or Lula in Brazil or even our occasional friends in Saudi Arabia. Trump was America's greatest supporter of Israel, negotiating the Abraham Accords and moving the American embassy to Jerusalem. Trump rang the bell on the China threat and our adversarial relations with the Chinese Communist Party. He showed folks how tariffs or the threat of tariffs can work for good reciprocal trade deals in North America, Japan, South Korea, or controlling the southern border by bringing a socialist Mexican president to his senses. Mr. Trump showed people how to be tough and strong. There were no new wars on his watch. He showed people how to negotiate, cashing in on his vast private business experience. He made deals with Congress. He brought in the private sector for Operation Warp Speed COVID vaccines. He wiped out ISIS from Syria. He took out al-Baghdadi, and he ran Soleimani off the road. Trump, in just a couple short years, became the reincarnation of the great Ronald Reagan's dictate, peace through strength. Trump updated the doctrine. He modernized the doctrine, and he left America a happier nation when he departed the White House. Look, I can't predict the future, but I do know the former president believes that his work is not yet done. And I know millions and millions of people around the country agree with him. Make America great again, again, he would say. And let me add, Alvin Bragg, get out of the way. All right, that's my riff now.